Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. If it's not in writing, it didn't happen. That goes both ways. My new manager at work is one of those people that absolutely has to be in control. Even when you're exceeding every scorecard measure, keeping your head down, not putting a toe out of line, she still asks you to come to a meeting room to discuss some minor issue or another. Recently, she pulled me into a meeting to discuss me being late from work. Protocol is to call in, say we'll be late, then submit a schedule adjustment request when we arrived. She accused me of not calling in or submitting a request, but I was able to prove I did. Only instead of leaving it at that, she insisted I now needed to call her and explain why I was late. That's not the process, I told her, and she said she was making a new one. So now I call her at 6 a.m. on her day off to let her know I'm going to be late. She also had a meeting with me because my scorecard for a stat was 99 out of 100 with a target of 50. She had to point out the 1 out of 100 I missed. She also did the same for a handling time issue where I am hitting an average of 600 seconds with a target of 1,500. She needed to tell me about a call I took too long on. Suffice to say, complaints have been raised to her manager. Following an incident where she was asked to follow up on something for me, and she claimed, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. I've been asked for everything in writing, and repeat that mantra back to her when she claims to have told me something. Last week, she asked me to see her after my call. I walked over and she wasn't there, so I went back to my desk. She asked me why I didn't stay around, and I reminded her of the time she put in writing that I wasn't to spend more than 1 minute waiting for her if she asked to see me and was to go back to my desk to take calls, not wasting time. She asked me to come over again, and when I did, she wasn't there. This repeated twice more before my shift was over. Each time I documented, logged out at 2:14 and 35 seconds p.m., came to your desk, you were not there, spent 45 seconds waiting, returned to desk, and took another call at 2:16 and 38 p.m. in chat. She messages me to ask what time I finish. I tell her it was 2 minutes prior, and she says we can catch up now. I tell her that my shift is over and ask if she'll approve an overtime pay for an out-of-hours meeting. She tells me not to be silly, and it'll just take 10 minutes. I refuse and say, if I don't get paid, we can do it tomorrow when I am being paid. She's typing, then not, then typing, then not, choosing her words. I know she's angry at being challenged, and she's decided to employ one of the tactics she used when she managed a team for a company where this was standard practice. Okay, well, if you'd like to go home now, I can always make it a formal meeting. A formal meeting where I work is code for a meeting with human resources documented on your record for misconduct and repeated issues. She thinks she's won. Not a problem. Make a formal meeting, ensure I have 24 hours notice, send a formal invite, and I will bring a support person with me. I log out and leave, but not before grabbing screenshots and saving a copy of the chat logs. The next day, she's called my bluff and has a meeting scheduled. I send it to my union rep, and she comes in on the day. HR sits down with us and opens with, "So we're here today to discuss some concerns. Your team leader asked you to attend an off-the-cuff catch-up 3 times, and for some reason you refused?" I quickly clarify what actually happened. My manager claims otherwise, and I repeat her mantra. If it's not in writing, it didn't happen. Then I supply receipts, her demands to put things in writing, her chat, my timestamps, my call logs, and her message to me afterwards. My union rep stares at the two of them with a small smile and asks, "So do you maintain the position that employees should attend meetings unpaid and that misconduct investigations are a good use of resources if they refuse?" HR said there may have been a miscommunication and that I could return to work. I have it put in writing that I am not accused of any misconduct and have been cleared of any false accusations, with nothing documented on my staff file. Yesterday, my team was advised that our team leader had decided to pursue opportunities outside of the company, and we were getting a new manager. Small comment to those that say it's a crappy place to work. Full disclosure, it's actually not. My job is satisfying on a personal and ethical level. I deal with vulnerable people and help them. Pay and perks are great, and the people are great to work with. The metrics are more than reasonable, and all my managers over the last several years have been wonderful, except a couple, who were wrong for the role and were swiftly removed or made to improve. One electronic item per tray? Sure, no problem. Long-time lurker, first-time poster, English is not my first language, you guys know the drill. This happened yesterday, as I was returning home from a 2-week trip to Germany. The final leg of the flight departed from Paris, where I had this lovely interaction with the agents whom, despite me knowing they are not TSA, I still refer to as TSA in my mind. While going through security in the airport, I know the drill. Belts off, jacket off, take the laptop out of my bag. So I submit to the X-ray 4 trays. One with my carry-on, one with my laptop by itself, one with my belt, watch, and jacket, and one with my personal item. Think a fanny pack. I'm randomly selected for further screening. I have a Lebanese last name and a beard. I'm always randomly selected for further screening, and the agent berates me for putting all my electronics together. I point out that I took my laptop out of the bag as per standard procedure, and the agent says, screaming at me mind you, that is not enough. I must take out every electronic device from my carry-on and put each of them in an individual tray, and I'm being sent to the back of the line to do so. Here comes the malicious compliance. There are 2 things this French TSA agent is unaware of. The first thing is that I'm a videographer by trade, and I was in Europe to cover an event, Spiel, with video footage and interviews. The second thing is that Air France changed my flight time so my 2-hour layover became a 10-hour layover, which I'm not particularly happy about. So I'm being sent back to the end of the line, and I have to submit each electronic item individually? Sure. No complaints from me. 2 camera bodies, 1 drone, 1 GoPro, 4 lenses, 9 batteries, and 2 lavalier microphones later, there is no more space in the treadmill. People behind me are complaining they will miss their flight because I'm taking so long. There's nothing I can do. I'm just following the orders I received. And at this point, I only unpacked my photography vest and fanny pack. The treadmill starts moving. Some space clears up to put additional trays, and that's when I open my carry-on bag. Again, I'm in Europe for work. I didn't bring any nice clothes or shoes or anything. All my personal effects are in the checked-in luggage. The carry-on is filled exclusively with electronics. I still have 4 microphones, 2 recorders, lights, additional lenses, battery chargers, video monitors, audio monitors, drone controllers. Once I open my carry-on, it's very clear for everyone within eyesight that I'm not even 1/3 of the way done. 1 electronic per tray? Sure thing. I'll just occupy this entire checkpoint by myself then. People behind me in line are literally jumping and screaming about their missed flight to the point the security agents leave their posts to control the line. Someone in a non-uniform suit appears and talks to the agent who sent me to the back of the line. That's when the unthinkable happened. The agent comes to me and says there would be no need for me to continue separating my electronics, and I could just submit my entire carry-on bag as a single item and they'd examine it further if it seemed necessary. You sure? I asked. Because it's no bother at all. I can keep unpacking here all day long. They insist it's not necessary, but I still have over 20 trays at this point occupying the treadmill. I go through the metal detector. I spent some minutes recovering and repacking everything, and based on the amount of fuming passengers, I like to think I contributed to Charles de Gaulle reviewing their stance on X-raying individual electronics. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, subscribe. I'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.